While the West subregion of Region 3 Single A is pretty well set with only the number 1-4 seed to be decided, the same cannot be said about the East, where Calvary Day and Claxton will meet, with the Cavaliers could finish as high as number 2 and host the next week's region playoff game, or they could be the number 4 seed and have to travel to ECI next week. Which will it be? It'll depend greatly on how Calvary fares Friday when it travels to Claxton. A year ago, in a similar situation with region seeding on the line, Calvary lost 22-14 to Claxton when Tiger running back Jamal Morgan ran for nearly 200 yards. The Cavs defense, led by Dominique Henfield and Dustin Dauphiny, will have to keep Morgan from running all over like he did last year. The Cavs will try to answer Morgan with the running of junior Steven Williams, who has rushed for 638 yards and 8 touchdowns in 6 games this season. With a win, Claxton secures the East Subregion's number 2 spot and enters Friday night coming off a 44-41 win over Savannah Country Day, in which Morgan ran all over the Hornets, totaling 275 yards and 4 touchdowns on 46 carries. That brings his season total up to 876 yards and 10 touchdowns in just 8 games. Now this one is a pretty tough one to call. Morgan and Claxton definitely benefited last week from Savannah Country Day's defense being so banged up. Calvary, meanwhile, which is also bigger than Country Day on the defensive side of the ball, should be able to keep Morgan under wraps a little easier than the Hornets did last week. But the question remains, will Calvary's offense be able to keep pace? I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. But in the end, I'm going to have to go with the home team in Claxton to edge out the Calvary Cavaliers 24-22. Well, that's all for this edition of Countdown to Game Day. Thanks very much for watching, and be sure to check back here next week for the final regular season edition of Countdown to Game Day. And don't forget to play the Blitz Picks Challenge. Go to WSAV.com or SavannahNow.com to beat the pros. And I use pros loosely as I only got 3 out of 10 right last week. I feel shame. But anyway, I will be on WSAV 6 o'clock Thursday Sportscast along with Ken Slats. We will preview a couple of this weekend's games. Then I'll also join him on Sunday's 11 o'clock show to recap the week that was. So again, thanks very much for watching. For the Savannah Morning News, I'm Rich McGowan.